My name is Credit Coach Nicole Scott. If you have not by now, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, send me a comment, let me know if you have found value from any of my videos, because your feedback is important to us and it helps us reach more people from the YouTube algorithm. So in this video, I'm going to be going over Credit Repair Cloud. If you don't use Credit Repair Cloud, just use the same concept and apply it to whatever process you are using. You can use Microsoft Word, you can use Google Docs. Credit Repair Cloud is a software that is going to help you automate the process when you are going through the disputing. But you can use these same concepts and apply them no matter how you are generating your letters. So I've just re-imported the credit report into the software, and this has produced a re-import summary for our client that we can download and send to our client. And this is that. So we're just going to continue to the credit report, and I have already noticed some changes. It said some late payments got updated. Whenever you see things that, hey, this got updated, always go check the credit report to see what exactly was updated, because sometimes they will tell you that something has been updated, but in actuality, nothing has really been updated. So first we're going to go through software, and then we're actually going to log into their smart credit account, and we'll be able to actually go through and take screenshots and point out the errors so we can actually show the credit bureau, hey, you are the only person that is actually reporting this derogatory information, this invalid information, this fraudulent information, and I demand you either update it or remove it. You want to just keep it simple. You don't need to overcomplicate things, okay? Send them exactly what you want. You don't need to really get into, if you're factually disputing and you're saying, hey, the fact of the matter is I have proof that you're wrong and I'm right. If you are doing that, then there is no reason why you would need to go into so much depth when it comes to the law. You can use a little bit of the law, and I do have an ebook on my website. You can head over to therealnicolescott.com or creditcoachnicolescott.com, and you can get a copy of our FCRA ebook, and that just kind of gives the major points when it comes to using the law. And of course, I'm not a lawyer and I don't give legal advice, but it's just some good areas, and you can use the Cornell Law website. That's a good resource, and these links that are in the ebook are interactive, so you'll be able to click on the links and they'll take you directly to the Cornell Law website, where you can actually copy the verbiage from the law and incorporate the law into your letters. But you don't need to do too much, right? If you're factually disputing, the matter of the fact is, by law, they have to comply with your request to update the information based on the proof that you have sent them, right? Make copies of everything that you send them. So if you send them a letter and you send them a copy of your credit report as proof, maybe you also send them a letter from the creditor, you would want to make a copy for your files and make a copy to actually mail them. Everything that you mail them, keep a copy of it. If you send your letters to the credit bureaus via certified mail, you need to keep some sort of folder, binder, some sort of organizational tool. I used to use a binder, and I would staple the certified mail card to all of my letters and hole punch them and put them in a binder. And then when I received the card back in the mail, I would put that in the binder, and I would keep record of everything in a binder so I could properly track everything. And that's how I was able to repair my credit without using a software. Now, of course, I do this for, a lot of people. We have limited availability, so we do not accept everyone into our program. So it is, a blessing to be able to help people. So here is the software here. And if you wanted to click on anything that is inaccurate, you would just click on addresses. And of course, personal information is always the first thing that you want to take a look at. And I've already been working on this client's file, so their address is accurate. They just have some previous addresses, which are no big deal. Is what we're really worried about is having the correct address listed up there. And if you can get the old addresses off your credit, great. But sometimes these old addresses are connected to open accounts, so they might not come off, which is no big deal. As long as they're accurate, client's okay with it, we're still going to check them off because we only really want one name and one address. But at the end of the day, we kind of have to, focus on what's important. And what's important is having one name, one address, and having the correct address. So even if we have some previous ones, it's not the end of the world. Okay. As long as your name is showing correct, your address is showing correct across the board, you're good. We'll move on to inquiries. So you want to dispute any inquiry that is not tied to an open active line of credit. So this client has been applying for credit cards, which is perfectly fine. That's fine. When you're on our program, we encourage you to apply for credit so you can start building positive credit and start establishing more credit. And sometimes that does require an inquiry, but we're not going to dispute inquiries that where you applied for something and you got approved for something. So when in this customer's case, I'm not sure that they got approved for Discover credit card. I don't believe that they did. So we're just going to, they got approved for Apple. So if you haven't applied for Apple, apply for it. You can also use our link in our bio, which is our Linktree link, to apply for personal loans. And we have a credit builder guide that has a ton of different credit builder options. We actually have a free guide, and I'll list that in the description below. Get that copy because this is over 30, probably 50 different personal trade lines that you can add to your personal credit. And a lot of them don't require an inquiry. So it's great. I'm always adding to this information, and I'm always, providing value in here. So it's so awesome that you guys can get it because there's a digital version and there's actually a PDF version. So we sell the digital version, the full digital version, and I'll leave the link below, but you can also get the free PDF version below, which has a lot of good information in it. So at any rate, we're going to dispute these inquiries from Discover because we don't want them on there. It looks like Discover did pull all 3 credit bureaus, which sometimes they do, sometimes they do not. And we're just going to say this inquiry was not authorized. They did not have permissible purpose or other reason because, we were aware that they were going to do a soft pull. Discover never said they were going to do a hard pull on 3 credit bureaus. Normally Discover just pulls Experian, but in this case, they pulled all 3 credit bureaus, which gave an inquiry to each one, and we don't want that. So let's go ahead and get that under dispute. So the first account that you see here is going to be the mortgage. And on our account, it says that this was actually updated. So I'll show you guys when we can log into the credit reports what it actually looks like. And this is a way to get the late payments updated. Okay. So we just say the late payments reported on this account is an error and completely invalid. Please delete immediately and confirm in writing. You can just be straight to the point. A late payment is an error. Late payment is inaccurate. Please update to paid as agreed. You just need to explain the situation in less than 10 words and say, please update to paid as agreed. Please remove this late payment reported on my credit report. Please remove the late payment status. Whatever you can say, whatever it's reporting as on your credit, that's what you want to do. So these are all the positive credit accounts. We don't want to mess with those. We don't want to dispute anything that's not affecting us in a negative manner. Now, of course, when I first started working with this client, there were a lot more negatives than there are now. They're in a better place than they were when they first started. I believe their credit has gone up close to 80 points thus far. We'll be able to see when we log into Smart Credit, but these are some of the things that we've worked on. We worked on settling some accounts. We've worked on deleting accounts. We've worked on cleaning up the credit profile. So we want to remove all of the accounts and clear up all of the accounts that are affecting us in a negative, derogatory manner. If you see the word derogatory, collections, charge off, those are all negative items that need to be cleared up and dealt with immediately, whether you dispute them and get them removed or whether you settle with them. It's not necessarily a bad thing for you to settle. Sometimes you don't have time to dispute and go through 6 months of waiting or 3 months of waiting. You'd rather just get it cleared up right away versus, messing around. So if you need help with settlement, I can help with that as well. It's really just about negotiating and figuring out a plan. So if you are interested in getting credit coaching for personal credit or business credit, my name is Credit Coach Nicole Scott. You can hit the link below and schedule a free introduction discovery call with me, which is for 15 minutes. And please be respectful of my time. If you're not ready to take action right now, don't book a call with me. I am very busy. I run multiple businesses. Credit coaching and business coaching are just one. I also do Turo. I also have another business, which is called Your Online Business Services, YOBS, and I'm building that out. So I am very busy, but I'm always willing to talk to people that are ready, willing, and able to take action. Okay. Ready, willing, and able. If you are ready to take action, you are willing to put in the work, and you are able to make the investments in order to get to the goal, then let's go, because that's what it's going to need. If you don't have the investment needed to get to the next level, now is not the time for you. Let's be realistic, okay? Everything when it comes to credit is going to be an investment, whether that's a small investment, time investment, whatever that investment is, there's going to be some sort of investment there, and you have to be dedicated to it, okay? So if you're ready, let's go. Schedule a call with me and we can go ahead and get started. And if not, schedule a call with me, when you are ready. But until then, you can always watch my videos for free. I have courses, I have ebooks, I have a ton of different digital products to help you guys reach you and get you to the goal. I'm actually working on a personal credit course right now. I have my business credit course that's out that has a ton of information. And I also do coaching to help guide you and help you, just to understand how to get to the goal. Okay. I've been there. I started at a 484 credit score. I've always had good credit. And then, obviously life happens. Sometimes it's not something that we need to be ashamed of, but rather embrace it. And this is going to be part of your story. It's part of your journey. You're going to be able to help other people just like I'm helping you. So this Amex account is listed as derogatory, and this account was actually cleared up. So we're actually going to be sending the credit bureau's proof of this matter that it was settled, which it has not been updated. And you can tell that it has not been updated because this updated date reported is 6/24, 6/1, 6/24. And this was well over 30 days ago. So we're going to send them a dispute on that. And I'm just going to put, this account is inaccurate and I'm seeking litigation. I demand you delete it immediately. Okay. And then here's another one that should not be listed as derogatory because you see that it was paid, right? It has a zero balance and it was paid. So it should not be listed as derogatory. It should be listed as paid and closed. So we're actually going to be doing the same thing with that one as well. And we're going to just put account data is fraudulent, see proof. And then we're going to put account is inaccurate. I'm seeking litigation. I demand you delete it. All these other accounts are positive. Those are probably the only accounts that we have left. Okay. So before we start any of the letters, we are actually logged into the client's Smart Credit reports, and their credit score has actually gone up 59 points since they started. So that's still pretty good. Their credit's going to continue to go up, and they've been with me for a few months now and gone up 59 points, and we have not added any trade lines. This is just credit repair. So we're going to head over to the credit reports in Smart Credit. You're going to go to the top of the screen where you see credit reports. And in order for you to really get an idea of like how to track your credit, what's on your credit, I highly recommend Smart Credit. So if you do not have credit reports with anyone now, or if you have used credit reports in the past, make sure that you get with Smart Credit because they will give you all three of the credit reports. I will leave the link below for you to sign up for your credit reports. That way you can go through everything from top to bottom and dispute all of the inaccuracies, derogatories, anything that is affecting your credit score in a negative derogatory manner. So we're going to go up to the reports tab. We're going to go to 3B reports and scores. Okay. 3B reports and scores. And that's going to take you to all of the three credit bureaus, Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. And it's going to show you those credit reports side by side. Once this populates, we're just going to click to Classic View. Okay. Again, click to Classic View because this is going to be able to allow you to see it a lot easier than the other view that it automatically populates in. So we're just going to look at all the accounts, and this is where a lot of people get confused because they see all these boxes. Just slow down and read everything, because once you start reading it, you'll start understanding it. These boxes just mean if you made your payments on time. You can see that this client did have some late payments. His account was actually listed as 30 days late, but now with TransUnion, that's the only one that is listed as late 30 days. The other two say current. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a screenshot of this and we're going to point out current, like current, and then we're going to point out, hey, look, TransUnion, you're reporting 30 days late. Now, obviously, anything that's like not really a major like thing that I would go after like instantly, right? But in hindsight, it is something that's affecting him in a negative manner because it's not late. It's not 30 days late, and it is showing 30 days late. So I put these screenshots in a Microsoft Office document here, and I just use a screenshot app called XSnip Pro. Just any screenshot app is fine, okay? And we're just going to take screenshots of the inaccuracies and we're going to point them out. Okay. The next one here, TransUnion is not reporting it, and they are also reporting as 30 days late. So we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to say, hey, why is this reporting as 30 days late? It shouldn't be. We're going to take a screenshot of that. We'll put it on the same document here. Okay, move on to our next one. The next one is okay. There is nothing here. They did have a late payment with this account, and you can see it was disputed, and we did get the late payment removed. You can see now there are no late payments. There are no 60-day, 30-day, 90-day, nothing. So you can do it. You just have to ask for forgiveness. You have to ask for a goodwill adjustment. And you have to not give up if they tell you no, okay? You have to just keep on being persistent, consistent, and diligent. Really, just got to keep on going. Okay, so this is the only other account that is listed as a derogatory account for the client. And we're going to take screenshots of both of these American Express. For people that have charge-offs, collections, derogatories, with larger banks like Chase, American Express, Bank of America, they keep really good records, and chances are that debt might not just go away. So in order for you to move past that in your life, you might have to settle some old debts, because if they're able to validate, hey, we know that this belongs to you, then there's not much you can do about it, but just pay it. You can settle it. And a lot of times these old debts, they are willing to settle for sometimes 25 cents on the dollar, sometimes more, sometimes less. It just depends on how old it is and the situation. So with some good negotiating skills, you can definitely settle old debt for a little bit of nothing. I helped this client how they should go about this, and I believe they ended up settling for $1,000. And we did get a verification from American Express that the account is now considered closed, paid, settled, as long as their payment processed properly, of course. But that's perfect, because we're going to send that proof along with the proof of the credit reports and how these accounts are reporting. We're going to send all of that in with the dispute letters, copy of the client's ID, a copy of the client's utility bill, and sometimes social security card. If the credit bureaus are going to need to verify who the client is because they have been a victim of identity theft, then social security card would be preferred, because they're going to need that anyways to verify that it is actually you, since you've been a victim of identity theft. But for this case, this client has not. There's no identity stuff on their credit profile, so there's no need to send a card. If we have ID, a valid ID, and it can be a passport, and a utility bill, it can be any sort of statement that has correct name and address on the utility bill. So that's that. Okay, so we got screenshots of everything that we came for. I believe everything else is good. So we're just going to go ahead and we're going to start generating the letters. And in the case of Credit Repair Cloud, you would just go over to tab 3 where you can go ahead and generate the letters. And we're just going to breeze through these letters real quickly. In this case, it would be round 2, because this is probably like the third or fourth maybe fifth round of letters that we're sending. And sometimes it does take that because they just don't listen. It takes a while to get things corrected. So let's go ahead and see which account has a balance on it. I can't tell which is which. So I'm actually going to have to just add it to the dispute and check the credit report. And that's why it's really important for you to work side by side of the credit report and like disputing, because you got to always look at the credit report. You're always going to be using the credit report. Okay, so the one with a balance is actually the other one. Okay, we're going to get rid of the first one and just verify again the one that has the balance. So we're going to get rid of this other one. And, you know, for privacy purposes, you guys, of course, can't see the account number. That's why I do these training videos, just to kind of give you an idea of what is going on and how you can do these same concepts and apply them to your personal credit. Or if you're starting a credit repair business, apply it to your credit repair business. So we're just going to send the dispute after investigation, which is the prove it letter, because we're actually sending proof. And this is a letter saying, hey, I have attached proof and I am requesting that you do something because this is ridiculous, basically. Okay, here it is. And it's that easy. So we just did that. And I just take the number out because I don't want to make it look like it came from Credit Repair Cloud. It's always good to reformat things just a bit. Now, keep in mind, none of our letters are Credit Repair Cloud template letters. All of our letters are custom. They are all in our letter library that you can purchase on our website, most formatted for Credit Repair Cloud. So now we're going to go ahead and save this and we'll put it round 3. And this is going to be prove it. And for here, you can just use general. You don't have to use anything special if you don't want to. Normally, I send credit bureau letters and creditor letters, but in this case, we have already settled with the creditor, so there's no reason to send a creditor letter. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next account that we have here, which is the American Express, and we're going to do the same thing because we're going to use our proof documents to send with that particular letter. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to staple them all together. I'm going to take the packets, the letters, the proof, and I'm going to staple all that stuff together, and I'm going to put it in an envelope, and I'm going to send it to Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. And I'm going to request that a live agent review my proof documents. I'm actually going to handwrite a brief cover letter to them to request that human review my account since I've had so many issues with their computer generated responses. Okay, save. We're going to hit the back button. We're going to clear out of this and we're going to hit the last item that we're going to be disputing is just that late payment that's reported. The other late payment got corrected. So we'll do the inquiry last actually. So we'll do this late payment, and notice these are not going all in the same letter. They're all individual letters that we're going to attach proof and send separately. Okay. Because disputing, meaning they've already got our disputes in the past. They did not remove it because they are probably requesting additional documentation or information. And they always tell us, like, you can request a reinvestigation should you have more supporting documentation that you can send to prove your case. Well, in this case, we have supporting documentation. We have a copy of our credit reports with other bureaus, and it does not read what you are reporting. And therefore, we demand that you update it or remove it. You know, you have to tell them what it is that you want them to do. Whatever your instruction is, that's what they're going to do. Most times, if you dispute something, your request is going to be for them to delete it, right? But sometimes you'll see that they updated it, and that's just maybe changing something. Maybe they don't change something, but that's why you really have to review your credit reports and understand what's going on, because there is a lot of, misconception when it comes to credit repair. It's a very slow process. There's nothing fast about it. We cannot guarantee results. All we can do is continue to be consistent and persistent and continue to dispute and challenge these items that are listed on our credit report. We can leverage the law by challenging them. We can leverage proof by challenging them. We can challenge the creditors on them and use their responses as proof to the credit bureaus. Just don't give up. A lot of people, they're not successful because they don't give up. A lot of people are not successful because they're not dealing with credit repair companies that are legitimate or that have, too much care for individuals. So really do your due diligence and make sure that the company that you're working with is going to dispute all items every single month to the credit bureaus, all 3 credit bureaus, and the creditors that are reporting that information as well. A lot of these major companies will limit the disputes or just not quite do it right. And all these letters are going to save in the software. So if you're printing them out from the software, you don't necessarily need to save a paper copy. It's always good to, if you're doing this for yourself, but you don't necessarily need to because there will be a copy saved on the cloud here. So we're going to go ahead and hit the back button. And we're going to clear out of that because we just disputed that. And then we're going to actually go down to the bottom where we have some of our inquiries that we want to get removed and the personal information. And we have one more late payment that we want to dispute. And in this case, we can just put all of these accounts on a prove it letter as well. And it's, kind of like a multi-purpose because we're going to be sending proof documents with them. And what we're going to do is just kind of put everything on one line here and go over here. You always want to put, whenever you're disputing an inquiry, you always want to make sure it has the inquiry name and the inquiry date. When you are disputing accounts, make sure it has the account name and the account number. Even if the account number has a bunch of X's or weird characters, just copy exactly how you see on the credit report and you will be fine. So I'm just going to put disputes. And that was kind of like the most that I would really put on a letter that you've like, this is like the 4th round or something like that. I wouldn't put a whole lot of stuff in there. I would really try to single everything out and send as much supporting documentation as you possibly can. And I know it's more work, but that's okay. So now we're actually going to print out the proof documents from Microsoft Word. And we're going to make sure that each of these screenshots are on a separate page because we're going to attach them to each of the letters that would associate to these particular accounts and attach it as proof. And when you have proof, you can just write notes on this proof right here. Write some handwritten notes to the credit bureau right here on this paper because it's a great way to continue to make it feel like, hey, I'm a real person. I'm not someone that is going to just go away. These are the errors. I'm providing you with the proof. What more do you want from me? So here it is. We're going to print out 3 copies of this. That way we can send a copy to each credit bureau and support it with our letters. So I'm also going to send a letter that I got from one of the creditors to support the claim, and we are going to make this happen. So again, guys, if you are interested in getting help with your credit, go ahead and book a free call with me. My name is Credit Coach Nicole Scott. Tell a friend about me because I'm here to see you guys win. Until next time, guys, make sure to check out my entire playlist on Credit Repair Cloud where I teach you guys how to repair credit from top to bottom. Let's go.